I might go ahead and get started since we're 6 minutes in. I don't know everyone that's on here, so I'll introduce myself. I am Elizabeth. I got licensed a year ago and graduated from Ohio State in May of 2020 with a degree in marketing. So before I've always been interested in real estate. I always knew that I wanted to be in the field somehow. But I started on Instagram in 2018 because my parents bought a cottage on Indian Lake and I wanted to share the progress. Since I knew I wanted to be involved in real estate, I thought that would be a great way to start putting myself out there before I got licensed. I mean, I guess at that point I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but it definitely helped. So the past year, I have been transitioning my account from being a like flipping houses account to real estate design, some kind of the flipping houses and being a real estate agent. So I need to figure out how to share my screen because I have a video share screen here. Okay. I have a little presentation for us. Can you guys see my screen? Perfect.
Nope.
So let me move this. So it's been about a year of me really playing around with Instagram as a real estate agent. But as I said before then, I shared a lot about flipping my family's lake house and other design stuff like that. So I have kind of a well-rounded view of how to create content on Instagram. I also used to manage social media for a group called Nesters, which is spelled Nestrs if you want to look them up. They're located here in Columbus and have Airbnbs and do really well. They have quite a following on Instagram. And so I got to learn firsthand from them on how to do it successfully. So today we're going to take a look at how to create engaging content that fuels your business on Instagram. If done well, you can really get a ton of leads and create a bunch of new relationships with your sphere and with others. So it does take some work, but if you're willing to put in maybe an hour or two every single week into planning your content, then it could be really great for your business. And there's a lot of text on here, a lot of information for you guys. So don't feel like you have to write down a bunch of notes. I can easily share this PowerPoint slide with you guys. And feel free to stop me at any point if you have any questions. Go ahead and get started. Is it gonna go? Here we go. So why should you be on social media? Here are a few reasons. It's a great way to connect with your sphere. You can get free leads, humanize your brand, be a thought leader, which is really great for the market that we're in right now. People just want to know what's going on, and for you to be the thought leader behind that is great. People just will start associating you with real estate. You can learn more about your customer, stay top of mind. It's great for referrals out of state and for recruiting new agents if you want to grow your downline. And also brand recognition and customer loyalty. So if you're really planning on trying to drive engagement on Instagram, you have to have the foundations of your account laid out. So if you're going to use a personal account, that's totally fine. I have a business account and I have a personal separate because that's just what I decided. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you have your account name that is easy to remember and spell. Mine is Flipping with Lizzie, and everyone remembers that. It's just very easy to remember. When people see me, they always ask me about it. And so you need to make sure that it's on brand with your business goals, which I had considered changing my name, but Flipping with Lizzie has just kind of stuck, even though it doesn't necessarily associate with being a real estate agent. I've just kept it because I think it's still on brand with who I am as a person. And And then next, you will choose your profile picture. You are your business, so you really should have your face on that image. You could have a logo, but I think it's just great to have that personal connection right off of the start, because Instagram is all about creating relationships. So have your face there so people know what you look like. And then from there, you're going to make your bio and choose your URL. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that because I know creating a bio is really challenging. So you see mine, I have Flipping with Lizzie, and then I have my bio, and then I have a link to where all of the website pages that any of my followers could go to. So you're basically telling them how you want them to experience your account. You can really include anything in your link tree. I know there are other sites you can use, but I personally use Linktree. And then my bio to start off is I help others discover their real estate and design goals, creating my dream home on a budget, realtor, and occasional lake house flipper. So those are the things that I'm interested in. When people come to my account, this is what they're going to see, and they can decide if they want to follow me then and engage with me based on my bio. So it's really just your first impression.
So Liz, what do you use for your website? Like, and do you use IDX integration?
So I'm still trying to figure out my website. I have a WordPress site because I do occasionally write blog posts. And so I've done that. I'm still building my website, so it's kind of a hot mess. You're welcome to go and look at it. I think it's actually linked in my link tree. So I have gone away from the KW site. I think it's awesome, but for me, it doesn't do everything that I want it to do. So I am still trying to figure that out. So yeah, I basically just use WordPress, and it's taken me forever to know how to use it right.
Yeah, I used Wix and it
Oh,
didn't do
Wix.
what I wanted it to do. I mean, it didn't have, and I didn't realize how much that IDX integration was so important. So if anyone
Yeah.
has any websites that they love using, I'd love to see that in the comments.
Yeah. Websites that's definitely on my list to tackle that. I've been trying to do it myself. I might just need to hire someone to do it for me.
And what's Linktree again?
So Linktree, if you see my mouse right here, it is a link that you can put in your bio, and it looks like this when you click on it on your phone. That was just a screenshot, and you basically can put any link that you want someone to see. So if you're hosting an open house and you make a post and you say, go to the link in my bio for more information, they can go there, and then you can have all of your links. So when I took this screenshot, I had an open house in Dublin, so they could easily click on that, see the link to all the information that they need to know about the house and get the address and everything from there. I even have one like Look at Homes Together online. That's a link to my KW app. So someone can click there, they can then sign up for my app, and it would automatically name me as their agent. And then even I did like schedule a showing with me. I'm just put that in there to see how that would work. Just I don't know. I haven't had anyone fill out the form yet. And then do you have any questions for me? These are Google Forms that you can make. And basically that's just guiding. Like, I want people to ask me questions. I want people to schedule a showing with me. I put that there so they have that opportunity. I have never had someone fill out the form, but it's there if they want to. So it really is just overall a great way to be able to have multiple links and guide people where you want them to go. I really like it a lot. Also, I can't see the chat box, but I see that did someone ask a question? Or no? Oh, here. Are you using the page as an agent? Shouldn't the brokerage name be in the bio? So I think that I need more clarification on that. I feel like over the past couple of weeks, there have been multiple ways. I don't know if Joan has any insight on that. If our brokerage needs to be in our bio. I make sure to put hashtag Keller Williams Consultants in my posts, but I don't have it in my bio. I don't know if I need to have that in my bio or not. So
I don't know. I mean, I think as far as if you're talking about any houses, open houses you do, in
Yeah.
your I mean, if I were doing it in my bio, I would want it.
Yeah, I normally just put hashtag Keller Williams consultants on my posts. And then if I'm doing anything like that, but I don't know about the bio, so we'll have to look into that more. So that's basically how you'll set up your account. We'll go into a little bit more how to caption your bio. So how to write a better bio on Instagram. So the 150 characters, how can we do that to make people interested in you, compel people to follow you, and invite people to join you? So if you're really lost on where to even start, these are 3 points that can really help you do your bio. So 1, tell me 3 things you're interested in. For me, that is real estate, design, and lake life. These are things that I want to be known for. They're things that I actively post about, and they're what all of my posts are found on. And then the next one is tell me how you serve the world. So the ways that I serve the world are I help others discover their real estate and design goals and creating a dream home on a budget. Those are ways that I want to serve my audience. Those are things that I'm passionate about. Those are things that my audience also wants to engage with me back on. So how do you serve your clients and others? This can be in your business and in your personal life. And then another thing is complete the sentence. People refer to me as fill in the blank. And this is actually a really great question to ask your sphere and see what they say. It's really great for branding. It's awesome to toss around. And eventually, if you really focus on your 3 things and you post about that a lot, then when you ask your sphere, hey, what do you refer to me as? Then they should say the 3 things that you want people to know you for. So that's how I created my bio. And it's a great way to start if you just don't know what to put. And also another tip, what I did, I enjoy following influencers on Instagram, so I will look at their bio as well and see what they have. That's just a tip if you just need some ideas or to make it creative. And then I think I have another slide on the bio as well. So a lot of what I'm sharing today is from a Jenna Kutcher Instagram course that I took. And so these are just 2 little images that she shared. Your Instagram bio needs to be a snapshot of your total bio. This isn't just about the numbers. This isn't about the followers. These are friends. Talk to your followers as though you are sitting across the table from them, drinking coffee or margaritas. Use that voice when you type. And then pro tip, you want people invested in you. Whatever you're doing, when you show more than your services or products, people will care about you. In order for people to love what you produce, they have to fall in love with you first. So really, Instagram is all about relationships. It's not about selling all the time. It's about building that connection. It's about building a friendship with your followers. And that's how you should talk to them in your captions. If you do Instagram stories, talk to someone as if you're talking to a friend. And it doesn't come off naturally at first. I wish you guys would have been following me back when I first started. I have looked back on videos and I look so awkward. But you have to start somewhere, and it's not going to feel comfortable. It's not natural for anyone when they first start. And you probably will look silly, but you just have to do it. Just take the video and post it, just write the caption and do it. And I promise it'll get easier. And then you won't have to keep retaking the videos. In the beginning, it's tough, but keep going. People really do care what you have to say. And I think that we have to keep reminding ourselves that people do want to hear from me. People want to see me on Instagram. I think we get this voice in our head of like, oh, people are going to make fun of me or think that this is weird, or I look so stupid. I don't know. I think we have a voice in our head that convinces ourselves why we shouldn't or what holds us back. And that'd be a good thing to dig into. And just, you need to then affirm yourself with like, no, what I have to say is valuable. I have something to offer. I serve the world in this way. And it'll be a lot easier with your mindset. So going forward from there, it is really helpful on Instagram since it's so visual to know your brand colors. once you establish your brand colors, you can start using them consistently on all of the content you create in your feed posts and reels and stories, on your highlight bubbles. So these are just some that I am tossing around with. I really need to just find my brand colors and stick to them, but I just can't find what I like yet. So I'm tossing around with these combinations. I don't really know how I feel about it yet. I know a lot of people use Keller Williams like colors, but know that you are not limited to those. You can also choose whatever color you want. So if you want to do something other than the typical Keller Williams color, red, black, white, and that stuff like that, you can look at this free color generator on Canva. They actually have like a bunch of brand colors that are already combined that you can look at. But yeah, we'll go into a little bit more of this later. Okay, so sorry, this the videos are right up here. Okay, so types of posts on Instagram. If you don't know Instagram well, this slide will be helpful for you. There are several different types, and these are how they are defined. So you have a feed post where you upload a picture and it's displayed on your account and your followers' feed. It's your followers' first impression of you. And then you have stories, which disappear within 24 hours. You can also save these to a highlight, and stories are a great way to build a strong relationship with your followers. I also get the best engagement on my Instagram stories. And then you have reels, which are kind of like TikTok. It's a quick 15-second multi-clip video, and it's a great way to reach new followers. Instagram loves reels right now since it's a new feature, and they really will boost your post if you do post a reel. And you have IGTV. I don't ever use this. It is a long form. It can be up to an hour. And then you have Instagram Live, which I also don't ever do. It's how you can communicate with people in real time. So I focus mainly on feed posts, stories, and reels, with mainly an emphasis in Instagram stories. I don't post as much as I probably should. Okay, so this will help you with questions to ask yourself before posting. And sorry, it turned out a little bit blurry, but you'll find that creating engaging content, you really have to think critically and thoughtfully. So before posting a caption, you should be asking yourself, who am I posting for? Is this post serving my ego, my friends and family? Is it reaching my ideal clients? Am I posting because I feel like I have to, or because I have something to say? And then why does it matter? How can I invite my followers into this post in a way that makes it matter for them? Why will this post help connect me on a deeper level to them? What is the point of this post? And then what action do I want people to take? How do I want them to engage? Do I want them to double tap, comment below, click the link? What action should they take if they are who I am creating for? So we aren't just posting to post. We aren't just making content for making content. We have to have a vision for what we're doing. And if your vision for your real estate business in posting is to get new clients and grow who you're connecting with, you have to be really thoughtful about your posts, what images you decide to share, and your captions. So these are just a really great, like, check yourself kind of before you post, to guide you in the right direction and to align with your goals on why you're even on Instagram in the first place. And then here are some more questions. I won't read all of these because you can look at this later. But yeah, these are just, anytime you're reviewing your posts, just think about these questions and just make sure that you're in line with your goals. Okay, so your posts, this is where we're getting into the engaging content piece. So your captions and all of your posts will either inspire, educate, or entertain. So if your posts that you are posting about, if they don't do this, then you're missing it, and you're probably not getting engaging responses from your followers. So let's look at what these mean. So if you're trying to inspire, so what are ways that you can share your story or connect with people with the intent of inspiring? If you want to educate, what is something that would be considered helpful for your followers? What do you get asked about all the time that you could share about or teach? What is a life hack that saved you time, money, or energy? And then entertaining. Instagram is a place people go to escape reality. What ways can you craft a caption or story with the intent to entertain others? This is a great way to create connection, be relatable, and keep people smiling. So think about these three categories: inspiration, educate, and entertain. You could even like have little buckets of it and brain dump all of your thoughts for creating content. So in what ways could I create content that inspires someone? Then list it below. Same with educate, same with entertaining. So this will be the core of how you create your content. It'll either inspire, educate, or entertain. And if it doesn't, then you're not going to have people engage with your content.
So Liz, I have a quick question.
Yep.
A lot of times when we close on a house for a client, or have a sale, whatever, we post about that. But I
Yeah.
don't know that that really falls into any one of those categories. It's not really inspiring or educational or entertaining.
Yeah.
How can we make those posts more aligned with one of the three? Have you figured out something that works a little bit better?
And that is tough. I am still wrestling with that. I do not think that I have it figured out. I think that you need to tell the story, if that makes sense. If your
Yeah.
client is comfortable with you sharing their story, that creates the connection, and I think would help that post be more entertaining, because those posts are valuable. Like your connections need to see that you just sold a house. But how can you do that in a way that tells a story about that client or about what happened? Like, even if you said, I showed them 25 houses, before we found the one, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or even if it's awesome, like we literally put one offer in and got it. Like that's almost unheard of in this market. Like, how can you tell a story that almost is kind of entertaining to read, because people are really curious about the market, and it'll help people understand kind of what its conditions are right now. So I think you can create an entertaining story and even an educational story about your client who you just sold a house to. So,
And what would you like? What makes it into the story category versus the post category? Is there like a quick and dirty rule for that?
oh yeah, okay. So I was meaning like a story. Yeah, that gets confusing because Instagram
Yeah.
stories. I'm meaning like in your caption, tell a story, like when
Yeah.
you're writing. Yeah, but then you can, whenever you do a post, you could do Instagram stories, like building the story. Like if you did a video of yourself, like you could even be talking about it, and then you could say, read more in my post, and then you link the post to your Instagram story.
Oh, okay.
So then that kind of brings it to both, so that you're getting a good feed post, but then you're also getting into stories, and you're kind of tackling both. And hopefully then, I think a lot of engagement comes from Instagram stories. I get a lot of people, like I don't even see a lot of posts anymore. I really only see
Right.
posts if people repost it in their story. So I think that's really valuable. Set the scene, take a video of yourself, like maybe tell a brief little story about like the house they just bought, and then like post your post in the next screen. That's
Thank
what I would
you.
do. I need
Yeah.
to get better at that, but
Very helpful. Thank
yeah,
you.
that's what I would think. So going more into captions, captions are really important if you're going to be posting in your feed. So digging deeper into that, how can we serve our audience with something they need, whether it be a quick tip in your caption or an additional resource linked in your profile, or some encouragement? How can you let your followers in behind the scenes? Can you share a story or moment with them? What do you wish people knew about you or your business that you can communicate? And then what feedback can you get from your followers that will help you create the perfect offer that they can't refuse? What questions could you ask that could help you? What did you do today that you want your followers to feel part of? Was there a moment that you could share or experience that you could tell a story about? Guys, the reality is the hardest part about posting on Instagram is coming up with what do I even post about? So if you are looking at these questions, I think you can easily come up with some ideas to point you in the direction of where you can start. Because what we want to do is we want to capture their attention and have them entertained, inspired, or educated, and then ask them for business. So we really need to figure out a way, how can we get their attention? How can I somehow help them? And then later on, I'm going to ask for them to help me in some way. So this is a really great thing to think about as you're kind of coming up with what you'll even post about. So call to actions, these are essential for getting engagement on Instagram. So every single post should have a call to action. And a call to action is basically just that you're inviting or encouraging your followers to take some sort of action with you. And the image below is my favorite. I love this. It says there can be big call to actions where you're asking them to take a big action and smaller asks. Before posting, ask yourself, what is the ideal next step for someone to take with me or my brand when they finish reading this post? Remember to focus on serving, and then selling. I aim to have a lot of fun, easy call to actions, and then each week I include one big ask to try and drive my audience to a space I have more control of off of the app. So if you aren't serving before you sell, then your people are just going to feel like your Instagram is a billboard or an advertisement. And we're already advertised to every single day. Everywhere we go, we hear it on whatever we're watching on TV. We see it in stores. We see it everywhere. People are always trying to sell something. So we want to position ourselves in a way where we humanize our brand, where we show who we are. We are our business. So how can I show up to my audience and serve you guys in a way that doesn't feel like I'm just asking you for a lot of things or advertising what I'm doing in my business? And that is really hard to get past. That is, I think, what stops people a lot from pursuing Instagram and where they get frustrated, because really engagement comes from when you figure out how you can serve your followers, which is different for every single person. Before you sell, you have to serve before you sell, and that is your calling. That is who you are. That is who you are for your followers and for your clients. Like, how can you serve them before you sell to them? And that's some heart searching that you need to figure out on your own, but I can kind of help you guide in that direction. So here's a call to action cheat sheet. Like it mentioned in the quote before, these are small call to actions, which will be some that you'll use a lot throughout the week. And then you have your big call to actions, which you'll only use a couple times a week, maybe 1 to 3 times a week, because it's a big ask. If you're asking someone to go to the link in your bio, that's a lot of work. They have to click on your username, then click on the link in your bio, and then click on the blog post. So that takes a lot of time. That's a big ask. So we have to realize what we're asking people to do. So what are the steps that they're taking? That takes a lot of time to pull up a link. But if you're just asking someone to hit like on your image, that's so fast, or to comment below, that is so easy to do. So focus on the small call to actions, and then your big call to actions should be you asking for business, and it should be you asking for your end goal on why you're even on Instagram. So your end goal could be different. It could be, come to my open house. It could be, do you know anyone that's buying or selling? Like, let me know, that those are the bigger call to actions where it requires some sort of effort from your follower. And then you have some words that would induce urgency. And then you have some action words. If you're, having trouble coming up with anything, these words could be helpful in your captions. We'll go to the next one. Okay, so again, we really need to focus on serve, and then sell, or your sell or your call to action. But you might be thinking, how do I even serve? So you really need to discover how you can provide inspiration, education, or entertainment. These topics do not need to be real estate related. And they probably shouldn't be real estate related, because if they are, then it probably comes off as selling. There are ways to share your real estate without selling to your followers every single time. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that. Okay, so this is an example of a call to action that I did that really did fuel my business this year. So the first step was to serve. So you do that by inspiring, educating, or entertaining. And I entertained by giving a home tour of a house that I was holding open. It was a house in Upper Arlington. It was really a cool place. And I've noticed that the homes that are really unique or have a lot of character, I get a lot of engagement with on Instagram. So I gave them that home tour. And honestly, it kind of feels like HGTV for my followers whenever they're watching. Why do people like HGTV? Because they like to see houses, they like to see what's going on. So I think about that all the time. Why do people like HGTV? And that's a way that I serve and I provide entertainment for people. I want people to kind of see me as this way to be entertained of like seeing homes. And that is about real estate, but it's also just a home tour that's fun to watch. And at the end of that, I did a poll on Instagram, in my Instagram stories specifically. And I said, are you planning on buying or selling a home this year? And that is my call to action. I just gave you guys this beautiful home tour. And now they're probably more willing because they feel like they have that relationship with me. We just did something fun together, even though I wasn't even with them in person. And then I asked them this simple question like, hey, I just showed you a home. Do you want to buy or sell this year? And I had 15 people say yes and 16 people say not yet. Most of them were in my sphere that I just didn't really even know that that was on their radar, which kind of is on me. Well, it was a lot of people too that I just had kind of lost touch with in life. So, and I know sometimes it can feel awkward with our sphere, feeling like we're only reaching out to them, asking if they want to buy or sell, or if they know anyone. And that almost feels like we're just asking a lot of them. So I thought that this was just a perfect way for me to get in front of my audience and just see who wanted to engage with this conversation. So instead of me having to track my friends down and ask them this question, they naturally answered my question in my Instagram story. So then I could just send them a DM and say, hey, I noticed that you answered my poll that you want to buy a house this year. That's really exciting. What's your timeline? Do you have an area where you'd want to buy? And then it's just a natural conversation where they're just gonna, share where they're at. And now I can follow up with them. I have closed one since this story, all because of the story, because I reached out there. And I think I have about 8 in my pipeline of where they could buy this year because I posted this. It was all people that I had like lost touch with. And then there were several people that were out of state that I had no idea who they were. I don't know how they were following my account, but I still engaged with them. And I said, hey, I asked where they live and they shared. And I said, hey, I know that I'm in Ohio, but if you ever need connected with an agent in your state, just let me know. I have a ton of connections all across the United States. So that's a great way for me to send referrals to other agents. And then for the 16 that said not yet, I can, be active in following up with them over the years. And I did actually send them a message and I said, hey, I know that you said that you're not ready to buy yet. Do you have an ideal timeline and like what you're thinking and where you would want to buy? So then I can make a note in command, like in their contact of like, talk to them on Instagram. They say they want to buy in 2023, hoping to buy in Columbus, and then I can follow up with them every so often to try to stay top of mind. So that is just how important it is to serve, and then before you sell. Because how many times have you posted, even just a post and said, hey, is anyone hoping to buy or sell? And you literally get nothing from it. Like, oh, no one ever reaches out to you. But this right here, I served by providing maybe 5 minutes of a house tour. And then maybe probably even less than that, not 5 minutes. And then I just asked a simple question, which is a sell. This is a sell right here of like selling my services basically. And then I have these answers. So this is what it should look like. It's how you build your relationships. And it's an easy way to then connect with people without feeling like you're tracking them down. Like they basically reached out to you and answered your poll, and then you get to follow up. So
Elizabeth, I have a very mechanical question.
yeah.
When you're making these videos, do you make them on the app or do you do them like on your camera and then upload them? I noticed that you also caption everything that you're doing, which I think is really smart because I don't think everyone can listen, to the
Yeah.
audio
Yeah.
like wherever
Yeah.
they're at. So what do you, like the mechanics of this, like what do you do?
Yep. So I'll take my phone, and Instagram limits you. I should know this, but I don't know how many seconds you have on Instagram, like in your stories, but I know it's like 4 sets of stories. So I'll take it all on my phone, and I'll even caption it there, and I will save each individual video if I want to post it later, or I'll just post it then. I think it's the easiest to edit your content if you do it on the Instagram app. In your stories. I that's just saved me the most time. I've tried doing it other ways. It just doesn't make sense. And then, because then if you take a video on your phone, since there's that time limit, if you go over the time limit, then how are you going to get that whole video in? Then you
Okay,
have to like do some more editing. So I always do it on the app, because then my video will stop when I run out of time.
right.
And then it's just super easy and looks cohesive.
Thank you.
That's what I typically do.
Okay.
Hey Liz, it's David. Can I chime in
Yeah.
for a sec?
Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to bring up too, like you were talking about the stories, how it breaks it up, but also even on if you do the video as a post, Instagram does limit you to 60 seconds
Yeah.
for an actual post. And if your video, even if it's 3 seconds longer, it'll actually kick it over to the IGTV. And it'll only allow you to have that first 60 seconds. They call it as a preview on your post
Right.
before people have to click on that link and then go over to IGTV to finish out your video.
Yep.
So it does limit you there as well.
Yep. Yeah. So there are some limits. So it's good to play around with the app just so you know kind of what's going on there. Okay, homework. So this is where you guys will really get to learn and put into practice what we've been talking about. So look at your last 12 to 15 posts and think, where was I lacking quality? And then on your last 5 posts, go rewrite your captions as though you're showing your friend the image and telling them why it matters, why it's cool, or what happens behind the scene. And then how can you add a call to action that invites them to do something? So this is great if you're a little bit nervous about starting to post on Instagram, or if what I'm bringing up is kind of out of your comfort zone. Get some practice on some captions or posts that you've already done. You don't have to rewrite it in the post if you don't want to, but just get a piece of paper, rewrite it a couple times, and see how you can get your voice and how you would actually talk in person on the page. How can you make the caption so that it inspires, educates, or entertains? There's a way to do it. It takes some time. Captions take the longest, but get some practice doing that. And then you'll feel more comfortable as you then go to schedule some more posts. And then pro tip, avoid a ton of adjectives or fluff. Read back through your captions. And if you can't naturally say the words out loud, or they wouldn't normally be words you would say, rethink them. I think that is such a good tip, because if it doesn't sound like you would actually say it, then you probably shouldn't post it.
One more mechanical question.
Yeah.
So I realize in the app, there's no return, like on the keyboard when you're in
Mhm.
Instagram. So, but I notice a lot of people do have like, from a marketing standpoint, you don't want like this big blurb. You want
Like the spaces.
yeah.
So
So
there actually
write
is a
it before?
return. I'm pretty sure. I think if you click, there is a button that you can click on Instagram to where you can add a space. I'm pretty sure.
I know space works, but like return, like, so when you go to that next line.
Yeah, let me see. Whenever I hit the 1, 2, 3, like, and then it shows the other text, I have a return option.
Okay.
Or what you can do is you can write the caption out in your notes on your phone and then copy and paste it,
Okay.
which is
Maybe I just need to go to the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, click 1, 2, 3, and the return should be in the bottom right-hand corner, but it's
Sorry.
hidden if you are just looking at like the alphabet. If you hit that, then you can see the return.
Okay. Sorry. These are like super basic.
No, they're
questions.
good. They're really good. I'm sure that other people have the same questions as well.
Thank you.
Okay, and then hashtags. David did just do a hashtag class, so definitely go watch that, but they are important in how you can reach new people. So research some hashtags, just check them out, see what would fit with your brand, your business, service, products. You can get a group of them together. I think you can do up to 30. I normally do 20 to 30 in my posts. And I do it in the first comment. So I don't do it in my caption. I'll post the whole thing, and then I'll be the first one to comment with my hashtags. So save those groups of hashtags in either the notes on your phone or a Google Doc, because every time you post, you don't have to find new hashtags. You can just easily go and post and find the same ones and post them if it is relevant to the topic that you have. Okay, so then you need to make a plan, which you don't have to post every single day. I do not post every single day on Instagram. It is okay to just post a couple times a week, like 1 or 2 or 3 times a week is better than nothing. But really set those expectations for yourself and be consistent. So make a plan. How many days do I want to post starting off? Maybe start with 2 or 3 days and then see how that goes, and then add in another day as you feel more comfortable. Then be consistent. Think about what the best time is to post. What would be your consistent schedule that you want to start and stick to? And then you also need to have a day of the week where you're going to commit to prep your content for your Instagram strategy. So you want to you can actually plan a month in advance if you want your content. You can do whatever works for you. But I normally do it by the week so that it's top of mind and it stays relevant with what's going on in my life. And yeah, because sometimes I have no idea what I would post in a couple of weeks. So pick a time, 1 to 2 hours a week, put it in your time block, in your schedule, where you're going to edit your images, write your captions, and prep your hashtags. And if you're going to be sharing any links or telling them to go to the link in your bio, that's what that little images below. It's just saying, make sure that if you're going to be like scheduling your posts, that your links are there. So if you say, go see the link in my bio for the open house that I'm hosting on Saturday, then the link should be in your bio. And so make sure that you have it there if you schedule your posts. And then this is just a general outline for you to start out for planning. You can have your post, what the topic is going to be, what image you're going to use, what call to action would work best, what hashtags you can use, the date and time, how you're going to use Instagram stories for that post, and then your caption. So that'll have everything. This is really everything you need to consider when you're posting on your Instagram feed. And once you get a rhythm going, you will probably have a hashtag category for the specific topic of your post. So then it'll be so easy to just bring it over and copy and paste it right in so that you already have it. And don't forget about Instagram stories. They're almost, I almost think that they're more important than your feed posts. I think it's really great to be active on Instagram. It's something that people just tap through for fun, and more people will see your Instagram stories than they do your feed posts. So make sure to incorporate those in your planning. Okay, so then Jenna Kutcher, she calls it the JK5 method. It's where you have 5 categories of things that you want to post about each week, which I don't follow this to a T, but it would be really helpful if I did. I probably should plan some time to actually do this, but this is really helpful for getting started with posting. So, your first category for me could be design. My second category could be my lake house. My third category is my real estate business. My fourth category is creating my dream home on a budget. And then my fifth category could be like sharing a local restaurant or something like that. So this would be something that is based on your interests. Remember, you're trying to humanize your brand and you're trying to let your followers get to know you on a personal level. So once you have those categories established, you'll choose what day that you want to post about that category, and that will help you stay consistent and not just post about your real estate services. So if you have those categories, say you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday posts, then people are going to notice, oh, Elizabeth I'm seeing stuff about Elizabeth going to the restaurants every week, or she goes to the lake, or post something about that. And then they'll start to recognize your interests with how you want people to know you. So that's how these categories can be helpful. And it just helps you come up with content for each day that is consistent throughout the week. So here are some questions to think about when creating your categories. You really want to feel confident about your categories and it be something that you like. Again, it's about your interests. So think about what type of posts you feel most confident sharing. What do you know will resonate well with your audience? And then what are some ways you can educate your audience and begin to solve pain points, bring more joy, or improve their life with your posts? What are some of their biggest objections your clients have with your purchase, which would be maybe buying or selling a house? What are their biggest objections? And then understanding those objections and educating them around them and affirming them that your offer is a good fit for them. So on that last quote, I think the biggest thing, people are just so scared to buy a house right now. They don't understand the process. So get in your Instagram stories and go into their, like, talk into their fears. Be like, I know you guys are so nervous about buying a house right now with how competitive the market is. I want you to know that if you use these strategies, that it is possible to buy a house right now. It will take a little bit of time, but you know, it is possible. So how can you know the pain points and the objections of your clients? Talk into that as if you're having a conversation with them and show them how your offer is a good fit. Show them that it is possible for you to buy a house right now. I understand how scared you are, but like, I am trained and I have the skills that will make it possible for you to buy a house. So that was a little tangent, but that's just something that you can think about when creating your categories, when creating your content, and really figuring out who you want to be on Instagram. You really have to do a lot of self-reflection and know what you're interested in and how you can serve your audience. Okay, so then once you have your posts scheduled for the week, you're gonna check yourself. So you need to make sure that one post shares your work and an opportunity for your followers to learn more about what you do. You need to make sure that there's a human element included, whether it's you, meaning your face, your team, or your clients, or the people you love. So if one of your posts per week could have a picture of your face or a person in general, that will be good for people to see on your feed. Does every post have a call to action, whether it be big or small? Are you encouraging your followers to take action on every post? And then if you're wondering when to post, the best time is when you can devote 15 to 20 minutes engaging with your followers, meaning it's a time uninterrupted where you can build community. So a lot of your comments come within the first couple of minutes of you posting. So if you can comment right back right away, that's just a great way to start a conversation. And instead of just having a close-ended response, maybe respond and ask them a question so then they'll comment back again. So then you start a conversation with them. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're reviewing your posts for the week. And then, sorry, my screen's blocked up. Okay, how to develop a plan for going off the app. I won't go too much on this, but you do need to have a plan, whether that they're added to your email list on MailChimp or an opt-in page or something. If Instagram were to disappear tomorrow, do you have a way to get in touch with your followers? It takes time to build an email list, but it is important because we don't own Instagram. It's a rented space. And we need to be able to connect with our people if the app were to go away. And then you also need to understand how Instagram will be profitable for you. You're not just posting to post. So you need to know your end goal on how you're going to make money on Instagram. So for us, that's going to be either getting a new buyer or a listing or sending a referral out of state or growing our downline. So you need to create your post or your sell or your call to action to be around those at least once a week so that you can monetize what you're doing on Instagram. So that needs to be a thought on, what your general goals are. So then make sure that all of your feeds, it looks good. So I posted this and deleted it so I could give you an example, but do you see how the text is not fully seen on the feed? And with this one, the text is fully seen. You can see on my feed that everything looks cohesive, it's organized, it looks professional. And this is just zoomed in a little bit more, but like this stands out and it doesn't fit in because the text isn't there. I know that a lot of times we'll post like an open house or just listed, and we'll use the size that we use to post on Facebook. Well, we need to have a different template that is called a square for your Instagram, or make everything fit within there so that you can see the full image on your feed so that just looks good. This will be, I mean, people will take you more seriously on Instagram if your feed looks really professional from like the general big overview. So then if your goal, so this is only if your goal is to drive engagement on Instagram. So if you want engagement, then you don't want to do these things. You don't want to only post about real estate. You don't want to have someone else write your captions. I know some people pay to have other people plan their social media. You can have people do that. You can have people come up with ideas on what to post. You can have people get everything prepped, but you need to be the one to write your captions because it needs to be your voice to your audience. Do not post low quality images. Do not sell in every single post. Do not include links and captions. You cannot click on a link in a caption in Instagram. It doesn't work like that. Do not ignore Instagram stories. You should be in Instagram stories through the week. Do not compare yourself to other accounts. You need to stick to your path. You are you, and people are following you because they want to get to know you. Everyone is different. I am different than any of you. We are going to have different feeds. We are going to have different categories. We're going to have different topics. We have different spheres. I have ways that I serve people that it wouldn't make sense for you to serve people that way. Like, you really need to just know yourself and stick to who you are and how you can serve your audience and be confident in that, and just have blinders on and just keep going. It's so easy to compare yourself, but really try not to, and just encourage yourself that you're headed in the right direction. And then don't create content for the sake of creating content. And then if your goal is to drive engagement on Instagram, you do want to engage with other accounts in a genuine way. So you can actually follow local accounts like restaurants or shops. And just like they are on Instagram to try to grow their business, how can you engage with them by liking and commenting and engaging with their account? And then by doing that, you'll have other people that are local. They'll probably see your comment and then they might want to follow you. So that's a really great way to, help other accounts, but then also grow your following. And then you should always be responding back to every single comment and direct message. That encourages people to keep engaging with you. If you comment on someone and then they don't comment back, then you probably won't comment again. So keep commenting, keep engaging with people. You want to humanize your account, so try to have your face in Instagram stories. I know it's so awkward, but just try it, even if it's just really brief. Try to have your face and pictures on your feed. And then serve, and then sell. Be consistent, even if it's just 3 days a week. Try something new. It's okay to fail. I fail all the time. I try new things and I don't get engagement, and that is okay. At least you're putting yourself out there. Use story polls, questions. That's how you start a conversation. That's how you really get people feel comfortable responding to your account in an easy way. And then be sure to caption your videos with what you're saying in stories, which is what Sarah mentioned, that I caption mine because I don't always listen to what people are saying in their Instagram stories. So it's sometimes if people don't have it captioned, I just tap through and I don't even really listen. So make sure you caption your stories. And then these are just some example feeds if you need some inspiration. As you can see, you can definitely tell their brand colors. So Amy Porterfield has a blue, a pink, and this green, and that's pretty consistent throughout. Jenna Kutcher with the Goal Digger podcast, she's very neutral. Every single picture is very neutral throughout. You see how it's cohesive. Her quotes fit the grid perfectly. And then Susie Holman, like all of her colors are cohesive, even though they're a little bit different. Like there's that like reddish orange there, same here. Everything fits within the grid. So that's almost our goal. Like we want to have a professional looking feed because that your account will grow when it looks more professional like this. And then as we're wrapping up, some encouragement for you. I know it seems like a big task, and I think that Instagram is a lot of personal reflection. If you want engagement and if you want to build relationships, you have to put yourself out there, and it's a little bit intimidating. So I liked this quote that Jenna Kutcher had. It's, as a brand, you're building a relationship through serving every day, so that when the time comes to sell, your audience is eager to take part of your offer. Listen up. In a saturated market, the main difference between you and your competitors is you. And I think we can all relate to the saturated market. You know, there are so many agents that people have to choose from. So how can we set ourselves apart and actually serve people and reach people in our communities in a way that they want to be served, in a way that they can help? Because the reality is not every single agent is going to go in above and beyond like we do. And so we can show that in our Instagram, we can serve them and care for them. And then when the time comes, when they're ready to take us up on our offer, then great, we have a new client. But until then, you know, we're just building relationships and letting people get to know us. And then I think that's it. I have some resources here. Basically all the content that I had in my presentation is from this course, the Instagram Lab. I think it's like $200-ish worth every single penny. There's videos and a workbook, and that was just a general overview, which was a lot of information that I gave you guys. But it goes even deeper. So definitely do the Instagram Lab if you are interested in really committing to Instagram. And then some podcasts that are really great are The Gold Digger, Online Marketing Made Easy, the Gary Vee Audio Experience, and Hustle Humbly is just a general real estate podcast that I really like a lot. But yeah, I think that's all I have. I think we have like, I guess we're right at 12. So if you guys have to hop off, that's totally okay. But if anyone has questions for me, I know I talked a lot, but that was a ton of information. And I think I have some in the chat box.
Hey, Liz, it's David again.
Yeah.
Hey, that was great information. I really appreciate that. You know, I'm a big Instagram fan too, and I just wanted to say personally, thank you for bringing up the hashtag class.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most fun classes that I've done yet. I mean, it's just really stuff that I'm passionate about. I know you love that stuff too, but I did put the link over there in the chat for everybody as well for the YouTube video that's posted.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. And if you guys didn't know, we do have a YouTube channel that we record and save all of our classes. David uploads them every single week. So definitely check them out. If you can't make a class that we always record, this one will be recorded, and I will be sure to post this PowerPoint in our Keller Williams Consultants Facebook group so that you guys can look at it, because I know there was a lot of information on the slides. So does anyone have any questions for me before we hop off here?
Elizabeth, just on the stories versus posts.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you can do a story and then like link it in the post. Do you typically do that? Like how much do you post versus story?
So I need to be better about posting in my feed, but I'm very picky about what I post in my feed. I want it to be relevant with my brand, and I feel like I don't have enough content, like images right now. Like I really need to go out and like get a ton of images ready for my feed. So I only post in my feed if it makes sense in what should live in my feed. Like I'm probably won't just post like a random picture of a house that doesn't have a connect. Like I'd only do that if I had done a house tour, if that makes sense. I spend the bulk of my time in Instagram stories.
Okay.
And then I just make sure that whatever I post in my feed is very high quality and something that would like bring people in. Even if I don't post a ton, it's like, oh, they see this and like, this really is who I am. I'm not just going to post and fill up my feed. Like I'm going to post something that actually like means, does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. So it
Yeah.
should be like really high quality photography, you know,
Yeah.
on brand with your colors and
Yeah.
everything else. Whereas
Yep.
your stories can be a little bit more like personalized.
Yes, and more laid
More
back.
natural.
Yes, yes. And like and even with those like categories that I shared, like you don't have to post in your feed every single week. If you can be active in Instagram stories, that'd be great. Ideally, you could post a couple times in your feed each week, but just for me and where I want to go, I should be posting in my feed every week, but I need to commit more time to getting the content together. And I don't always have those opportunities because, you know, I'm in my first year of business. I'm still trying to like gather everything. But that's where I'm struggling right now is I actually do need to commit some more time to creating my content for what I want. So yeah.
Yeah, something I'm struggling with is like I'm starting my Instagram page from basically ground zero and I don't have
Yeah,
any content. But I've sold since I've been in business like 30 homes. So
right.
I want to be able to tell people, like, if they come to my page and they don't know me, like, these are the homes I've sold. But at the same time, photography is tricky. If you didn't list the house, you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
probably, get permission from the other side and so on
yeah,
and so forth. That
yeah.
being said, like, do you have any creative ideas on how to say, like, if you're just starting this page, like, this is my experience without feeling like you're overloading people with,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know,
really good question. Um, I would say maybe just start with I know that I saw that you posted that you just recently took some new pictures for headshots and stuff like that, right?
yeah. Hmm.
Maybe post one of those as your very first picture and then do a caption of like an about me. So maybe really go through what your three things about you that you really want to focus that you would put in your Instagram bio, and
Okay.
then create a caption about that. And then just say like, oh, I've been in the business for this many years. I've sold this many homes. Like I don't think that that's bad to do. That's a hi, I'm Sarah, like get to know me. This is about my business, but this is also just who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you
Right.
could do that. And then you could always reach back out to the listing agents and just say, hey, is it okay if I, post some of these pictures?
Yeah.
Um, but then in the future, if you're working with a buyer, if you're going back for even their final walkthrough or for the inspection, quickly take a couple pictures so that you have your own images
Yeah.
that you could post later on. That's
Yeah.
just another way moving forward that you can have that content without worrying about, can I use it or not?
Yeah. Thank you.
That's what I would think, that just like letting people know who you are, and then feel free to do throwbacks. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Like a house anniversary.
yeah, exactly. What you need to focus on right now is building up some of your content. So you might want to post 2 or 3 times a week. And then in a couple of months, you'll have a whole feed of images. So then it looks like you haven't just started.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
I think that would be really helpful for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you need any help, you can always text me. So
Okay. Thank you.
Hey,
does
Liz,
anyone?
Sarah brought up a
Yeah.
great point. If I can bring up about the stories versus posts. You both have probably seen a lot of people that post a story, and the story is literally a snapshot of the same exact post they did, but they'll put a new post or brand new post, kind of label on it or whatnot. And one of the main reasons that people do that, Sarah, the algorithms, Instagram is actually owned by Facebook, and both Facebook and Instagram have different algorithms for how your posts or your information shows up in your other people's feeds. So you may notice it's really easy to notice it on Facebook, but you can on Instagram as well. That if you take the same exact post and you just post it to your timeline, and then you take that same post and you post it as a story, which is only there for 24 hours, you actually get an entirely different audience that's seeing your story as opposed to your post. Some of them may be similar, of course, for people that interact with you on a regular basis. But it is a way to make sure that people that, are like on Facebook, it's limited to 25 people typically. But it's a great way to get outside that algorithm and make sure that the people, that you are connected to, or like Elizabeth said, didn't even realize, hey, on that poll that you did that, hey, these people were people I was connected to already. I just hadn't interacted with them for a while. So that's a great way to get around that, is doing the dual post of both your post and the story.
Thank you.
Well, I think we're past our time. So feel free to reach out to me at any time if any of you have questions. My Instagram is @flippingwithlizzie. If any of you guys have questions, or feel free to email me. It's Elizabeth Butt, I know I have a funny last name, @kw.com if you have any questions. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And good luck on doing everything Instagram related. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. And then I think David, are you recording, David? Or do I?
I'm not, if you're using the standard Office
I'll hit
Zoom, it should be
stop.
auto recording for you, but yeah, I'll grab it and upload it to YouTube later.